Be nice if I unmute myself. Hello, everyone. I am back. I am Coach Linda. This is 100 Days of Purpose. So, yes, I know that I don't look like my glamorous self as I normally look because I normally get on and, put on a little bit of makeup and comb my hair and all of that good stuff. But today is the day before D Day, right? It's the day before tax day. And so, yeah, this is how I've been looking all day. I washed my face and got to work on people's taxes. So, all of that said, I'm back. You ready? We got one more day. This is day number 99. We're just doing a review because there's some things that I just want to kind of press into your mind, press into your heart, press into your spirit. And if you don't believe, or don't, I shouldn't say don't believe, because that's not really what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to take action on some actionable things. So, if you don't remember anything else that I've said over these 100 days, yes, you can watch the replays, but this is what it all boils down to. Purpose is not something connected to activities that we do. It's not something connected to labels that we put on ourselves. It's not something connected to labels that others put on us. Purpose is a set destination. It's a set thing, right? It does not change because you got older. It does not change because you got more education. It does not change because you don't have education. Um, None of the things that we put on ourselves to define ourselves has anything to do with our purpose. They can be fed into our purpose, but they don't define our purpose. I hope that makes sense to you. So here it is. You've got to take the time to really understand who you are. Okay. And I know a lot of people say you got to know yourself to thine own self be true. And they tell you all of that, but they don't really tell you what it means. So let me try to break it down to you as I understand it and as it has become a part of the way that I move and the way that I was able to be to become the person that I was always meant to be, right? Um and that was to shed the labels and the expectations and the disappointments and all of that stuff that had come across my life, but understanding that I was supposed to experience that. There's a difference between what we are supposed to experience and what we are supposed to be, right? Many times we want to put our experience as who we are, and our experience don't define us. Our labels don't define us. What we do for vocation, what we've learned in school, any of that stuff, even your DNA does not define you, because even in DNA, and we've learned that there's generational things that happen. There's things that keep reoccurring because it's within our DNA, and our bodies are um more, they gravitate more to those types of things. For, don't want to get too scientific with it, but there are things that we have found out and we have learned that there is a such thing as I couldn't help it, right? It's there, okay? And so I understand that, but all of that still is not purpose. Purpose is why you were put on earth, in the space and time that you were put on earth, and what you're supposed to do with that space and time. It's not you fitting into the world, it's the world fitting around you, because you are here. You exist in this space. And so the world has to mold itself to you, not you molding yourself to the world. And many people will come into our lives and they will try to make us bend in ways that we were never meant to bend. And some are very helpful, and some do it with a real genuine, I want to help you. I want to give you some advice, and I'm not trying to hinder or block or stop you. I want to see you succeed. And I think if you do XYZ, then it would be beneficial for you. And I understand that. I look at that and I say, okay, as a coach, even I do that. But the difference between me coaching someone and someone just coming, like your mom or your good aunt or your great great grandmother who is speaking a lot of wisdom into you, is sometimes they can be biased, right? So as a coach, I don't get to be biased. I don't get to say, I'm looking at Linda and man, she would make a good motivational speaker. So I think I'm going to push her towards that. No, I don't get to do that. What I get to do is pull what's on the inside of you out. And that's what is needed when you're going to be a person of purpose. You've got to dig a little bit deeper than that surface level, because many of us have talents that are there, and those talents are there because of our purpose. I'm going to say that again so you can catch it. Our talents that we have, those natural abilities that we have, are there because of our purpose. So when people tell me, well, you speak very well, you explain yourself very well, I realize that that's because I was put here to be a teacher. I was put here to be in a situation where I can influence the minds and the hearts of people, and I can be a logical sounding board, if you will. And I get that, but that's not all that I do. That's a talent that's there because of everything else that I'm supposed to do. And I tell you all the time that my overall arching mission in life, my purpose in life, is to bring wholeness to the broken. What does that mean? That means all my life I've been a fixer. All my life people have come to me with their problems. Linda, what do you think about this? Linda, what should I do in this area? Even as a little child, adults would come to me and say, do you like this dress on me? Or they would ask me things, and I didn't catch it until I started doing the work of trying to understand why I felt the way that I felt, why I felt so disconnected to the world. And I was accomplishing great things, but I felt so disconnected. And I wanted to understand why, when everybody else is achieving the same types of things that I'm achieving, they are ecstatic, they are happy, they're this, and I feel like crying at any moment. I don't understand. And so as I was going through it, I had to realize that there was more to it, and I was only doing a little bit of it. I was doing, if you look at a pie, I was, doing this little bit, but there was this whole stuff that I hadn't even walked into. I hadn't even begun to explore. And so as I began to explore these things, I began to understand why I felt the way that I was feeling, because there was so much more for me to do. And as I started allowing myself to understand what purpose was, not passion, because people say, find your passion, you find your purpose. Passion is gas. Passion will fuel your purpose. It is not your purpose. Gas runs out, oil runs out, right? You got to keep replenishing that. And so some people think, because I found my passion and now I don't like this anymore. I'm passionate. All my life I've been passionate about purple. I don't think that'll ever change, but I'm going to use it as an example. Today I'm passionate about purple, right? But tomorrow I'm passionate about red. And then the next day I'm passionate about orange. And then the next day I'm passionate about green. Your purpose can't change like that. One day you can be passionate about being a relationship advisor, right? You're going to help people find the one. And then tomorrow you want to help people get rid of the one, then you want, what is your purpose? We tend to grab at the everything that's bright and shiny, right? These bright shiny objects are floating by and we're just grabbing at them. What's the best thing to do? What's the thing that's going to get me accepted the most? What's the thing that's going to make people like me? What's the thing that, these group of people will impress these groups of people because I want them to really like me. And we got to stop doing that. What I had to realize is that those group of people were never going to like me. That this stuff right here that I was doing, although, for a time it was the best thing since sliced bread, it wasn't what I was put on earth to do. And so when I started to step into what it was that I was put on earth to do, life began to make sense to me. There were things that I was doing that I no longer had a desire to do because it did not align with my purpose. There were people that, even though they are still a part of my life, they don't have that access to me like they used to have because they weren't aligned with my purpose. We were on different roads or we were taking different journeys. And it's not to say anything wrong with them or anything bad about them, but it's to say that I had to hone in on my purpose and they need to hone in on their purpose, and together we can shine bright. And as our paths intersect and interact again, we can pick up where we left off, if that be the case. But again, I had to recognize that if I want peace of mind, we always talking about my peace, right? I got to protect my peace. Well, if I really want to protect my peace, then I've got to understand why I was put on earth. I've got to understand what it is that I'm supposed to do with this knowledge, with the gifts and talents that I have, and the skill sets that I've learned. And so as I start helping the broken, then I started getting in my vehicle of purpose. Y'all know I talked about the vehicle. So let me talk about that before I get off here. I got into my vehicle of purpose, right? And I was willing, I had resources, I had influence, and I got opportunities to continue to do what it was that I was supposed to be doing, the things that the people needed from me. I found my group of people that were looking for me. They were looking for what I had inside. They did not want to change me. They didn't want to, let me see if I can trip her up. They didn't want to talk about me behind my back. They just wanted to have the knowledge and the gifts that I had to give. They had a question, I had the answer, right? And it allowed them to grow. It allowed them to be. It allowed them to do what they need to do, thus allowing me to continue to do what I need to do to grow and to be and to exist in my peaceful environment, right? Not saying that you don't have problems, not saying that things don't get hectic, because today's a very hectic day for Linda and I'm fixing people's problems. So everything that I do, when you hear me say that I'm an author, the type of books I write help people fix their problems. The coaching that I do help people fix their problems. The financial coaching and the tax preparation, all of that helps people fix their problems. Then there is the ministry side of me. That's helping the broken find Jesus, and Jesus then heals them and helps them become whole again. And so everything that I do points back to bringing wholeness to the broken, helping with transformation, helping with identity, so that people can identify themselves and then identify themselves to the world, not let the world identify them, not let the world label them and put these labelers on them that, it's just, it's sad to think that someone, and I say this because I used to be that someone. It's sad to think that someone has to have somebody else tell them who they are, because they don't want to do the work to dig in, and the answer is already on the inside of them. The answer is already there. You were born with the answer. Again, I say this all the time, and I don't know how to say it differently, and if I did, I would. But someone had a situation, they had a problem, and they said, whether it was a prayer to God or whether it was just a thought, right? They said, and I use this all the time, so I'm going to use it again. They said, we need water. And the answer, the solution, was put on the inside of you, and you were born. You were created. You were conceived. And then you grew up, and you have this ability to understand water like no one else can. You can make water out of anything, right? Again, just using this as an example to give you an idea of what it is I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to convey to you. And so you can do all of this stuff with water, and you do it naturally. You do it effortlessly. You don't even have to think about it. It's just, you're looking and you're thinking and you're watching TV and you go like this, and water just flings all over the place, right? Because water is who you are. And so you're walking down the street and you see some people and they're like, man, I wish we had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I wish we had some chips. I wish we had, and you're like, oh, I know how to make peanut butter and jelly. I can go buy some chips. And so you go do that, right? And you don't hear the part of them saying, and we're so thirsty, right? You don't hear the part of them saying, and we need water. You just heard the peanut butter and jelly and the chips, right? And so you go and you get that and you give it to them. And they're like, oh, thank you. But now they're eating the peanut butter and the jelly and the chips, but they still are thirsty. And you can solve their problem because you can do anything you want with water, but you're so busy trying to fit in that you keep giving them peanut butter and jelly and chips because that's what they said they wanted, right? And so you keep giving it, and then they start to resent you. Then they start to feel like, who is she? Why she keep coming around? Why he keeps doing that? Why every time we see him, he trying to give us peanut butter and jelly, right? You beginning to see it, put it in real life, right? And so you're doing that, and then you go and they start telling other people, hey, you don't want to hang around her because all she's doing is giving peanut butter and jelly and we thirsty, and they're talking about this. Sometimes they're not thirsty. Sometimes they're not even the people you're supposed to be with. Some people over here, they're dying of thirst. They're like, oh, man, we wish we had some water. Man, we wish we had some water. But you're over here giving them what they don't need. And now they're resenting you and they're pushing you away. And you're like, why don't these people like me? I'm doing everything I can to help them. I'm giving them, I'm giving, and I'm not getting anything back. They're not even acknowledging me. They're not even taking the time to say thank you for the things that I'm doing. And I'm the only one doing these things. And you don't realize that what you're doing is squandering your talent and squandering your time because you're doing something, yes. You're helpful, yes. But you're not doing what you were put on earth to do. And these people that want it are being neglected because nobody is going over there to give them the water because nobody can do water like you can do water. And then you do the work and you find out, oh, wait a minute, this water thing that I've always had access to. And when I do it, I get this sense of satisfaction, but okay, whatever. I wanted to be with them and they just didn't like it. And so you start dealing with it and then they start to see you. The people over here start to see you doing the water. And they're like, oh, man, let's see if she'll give us some water. Let's see if he'll give up to us because we need it, right? And they come over and they may not be your type of people, right? We all have a certain type of people. They may not be who you want to hang out with. You want to hang out with them. You are willing to go the extra mile for them. You're not so much thinking about them over there. Maybe you looked over there and it's like, okay. How y'all doing? Why y'all staring at me, right? So now they're coming to you and they're asking you, And reluctantly you're giving them, you're like, okay, here, whatever, just take it, let's leave me alone. But those are your people. And if you can see, when I say be you, be who you were created to be who you were designed to be, and the world will make room for you. The world will adjust for you. These people are making room and adjustment for you. These people shut you out, but you are still trying to run after them because it's more prestigious to be with these than to be with those. And I'm not saying that everyone that needs you is going to be someone that you don't want to be around. I'm not saying that at all, but sometimes that's how we treat them. And then once you start to hang out with these people, you will find that these are the most gracious people ever. You will find, oh, wait a minute, I've been missing out. These people over here be doing stuff. They were just looking a little, little rusty because they was thirsty. But now that they lubricated and hydrated, look at them, man. You will find that everything falls into place. Problems don't stop because we're in a world where problems exist. There's going to be problems, there's going to be dilemmas. But when you are operating in your purpose, it's almost like nothing can stop you, nothing can block you, nothing can hinder you. Because if a problem arises, you're like, you know what, this is just a hurdle for me to get over, and I can get over it because I can do this, that, and the other. And when I hang out with these people, there's people over here that can mow down, there's people over here that can dig, there's people over here that can build. I got a whole community of people that will help me with this situation. And so I don't have to do it alone because we can stand shoulder to shoulder. We can shine bright. They can be who they are. I can be who I am. And together we make the world a better place. And that's what being a person of purpose is all about. I know today I went a little bit longer than I normally do, but I wanted to that's just been kind of like on me. I want to make sure that you guys are understanding what purpose is, because people throw that word around. They use it like they use tissue to blow their nose, right? They talk about being purpose. You got to have purpose in business. You got to have purpose in life. You have to have purpose in ministry. You got to have purpose in this. Why are you writing that book? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? And I think it gets convoluted and diluted, and the importance of it gets mushed out and beat out of that word because we hear it so much. And then many people misuse the word because they make it interchangeable with other words that don't necessarily mean purpose, like passion, like mission, like vision. Passion, vision, mission, those can change with what you're doing. Purpose does not change. Everything that I do, what I had to realize, I felt like I was being torn apart and pulled in all different directions. But then when I really did the work and I really understood this, and I said, okay, well, if this is what I'm here for, if I'm here to bring wholeness to the broken, how do I do that? And then I started to understand. Everyone that I dealt with in tax preparation, they had a problem that needed a solution. They were broken in an area and they needed to be made whole, right? Everybody that I meet in ministry, they're broken in an area and they need to be made whole. Everyone that reads my books, they're broken in an area and they need to be made whole. And as I went through, I started getting revelations about wholeness. I started getting revelations about purpose, revelations about an understanding about all of the things and how they come together. And then when I stopped trying to have something over here and have something over here and have something over there, and I started allowing them to integrate and migrate together, the harmony set in. And so in my day, I'm not feeling pulled in all directions because I'm trying to do 50 million things. I'm trying to do one thing. I'm trying to bring wholeness to the broken. And I have several avenues that I do that in, right? But I'm still on that same road. I don't have to get off the road to do what it is that I do. And now, even though I've added real estate to it, again, bringing wholeness to the broken. They come to me because they need a house. They come to me because they need to sell a house. It's still within my wheelhouse. It's just another avenue I have available to me to provide solution. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you understand it. I hope you get it. Because when you get it, when that aha moment happens, when you have that, man, I'm telling you, there's going to be such a release, but you got to do the work. I tell all my clients, work the plan will work. But you got to do the work. You got to be willing to do the work and stick to it. You cannot be haphazard about it. You got to be intentional. You got to be strategic. This is your life, and your life should count. There should be something left here when you're gone that says, Linda was here and she made a difference. Put your name there. Was here and they made a difference. That's what you want to be. That's what you want to say. I want the same thing that they said about King David in the book of Acts. It says in the 13th chapter of the book of Acts, it says, David did all he was supposed to do. And I'm paraphrasing. David did all he was supposed to do, and then he died. Hold up. David did all he was supposed to do and affected a generation, and then he died. And we still talk about King David to this day. Thousands of years after he's gone. He's still a relevant person. Why? Because he did all that he was supposed to do, affected his generation, and then died. I want the same to be said about Linda. Linda did all she was supposed to do, affected a generation, on and on and on, and then she died. I don't want there to be any regret. I don't want anything to be left on the table. I don't want not to experience all that I'm supposed to experience in this life. And I cannot experience all that I'm supposed to experience in this life unless I'm a person of purpose. And I'm strategic and I'm intentional about everything that I do. And I do it on purpose. I take that sip of life. Sometimes it's bittersweet. Sometimes it's sweetie sweet. You know, y'all know when y'all put a little too much sugar in the coffee. Yeah, sometimes it's sweetie sweet. That's what I call sweetie sweet. You be like, okay, give me a little bit more coffee in there, right? But I want to experience it all. I want to say that I lived my best life. I enjoyed it. And you can only do that. You can only truly do that if you are a person of purpose. I am Coach Linda. This is 100 Days of Purpose. We got one more day, y'all. Tomorrow is our last day. I don't know what I'm going to do because it's tax day. I was planning on having balloons and get me some sparkling apple cider and a champagne. I was planning on doing a whole lot of stuff. Y'all might get me like this again tomorrow because it's tax day. But listen, we gonna have our last day. We gonna celebrate. Maybe I got some grape juice in there, something we gonna celebrate, and we gonna have a good time tomorrow. So hopefully you will be here. Again, I am Coach Linda. If you need help, if you need a coach, if you need someone to help you walk through this process, to hold you accountable, to keep you going in the right direction, reach out to me. Say, hey, look, Linda, I've seen your 100 Days of Purpose. I think I need your help. Yeah, maybe you can do it on your own. But we all, we gotta stop thinking that asking for help is a sign of weakness. Because many of us suffer in silence. I do that. I suffer in silence, and I gotta stop it. I can't say something, and y'all know I will expose myself before anybody else. So, because I'm not going to sit up here and try to act like some hypocrite and be like, I'm all good and ain't nothing wrong with me and my boo-boo don't stink. No, it do. You know what I'm saying? But listen, we got to ask for help, People don't know that we need help unless we ask for help. And people don't know how they can help you unless you open up your mouth and say exactly what you need. So if you need help, that's what I do. Now, I don't do it for free, but that's what I do. And I will help you and I will take you through. And I'm trying to put everything online so it can be self-study, so you don't even have to, you can take it at your time and at your pace, and you can go forth, and you don't have to worry about saying, okay, well, next week I got a meeting with Linda, and if I don't have this stuff done, she's going to say the meeting's over. You don't even have to worry about that. You can do it at your pace and you can gradually grow. But the point is, you must grow. You must evolve. You must move forward. You cannot stay stuck. So you ask yourself those questions. What is my pain? What's the resolution? Why am I stuck? What's the process? And then what is my first step? Because you got to get moving. Okay. So if you need help, come ask for help. My first consultation is free. So, if that's holding you back, that's free. That don't cost you anything. And you get a lot of good information. Because believe me, I'm probably filled up to here with purpose stuff. So you'll get a lot of good information, but you got to ask for what you need. Okay. Open your mouth and it will get filled. If you don't open your mouth, it can't get filled. Okay. Closed mouth, don't get fed. That's what they say. So I am Coach Linda. This is 100 Days of Purpose. Remember, only those that can see the invisible can achieve the impossible. So I double dog dare you to be exactly who you were created to be. And in doing so, the world will absolutely adjust. And it will make room for you. You will not have to fit in. The world will adjust to you. Good night.